The Dick Show.
This is one of those years, too, where the Bears might actually show up.
Bears.
Justin Fields. I'm telling you, man.
We got to pause for station identification.
Right.
America. Fuck yeah. Oh, imagine the possibilities.
I've been riding Caleb Williams' dick since he was in high school.
This is a true story.
US Eagles down.
All right, well.
America.
Fuck yeah.
Maybe we'll be off to a better start this week than last week because I completely fucking fumbled the football last week on our show. We had 2 whole segments that I somehow screwed up and didn't record to be able to release for you guys, so that's my bad.
All pure gold, too.
Yeah,
All
100% gold.
Yep.
100%.
He had one job.
Yeah, one job.
He had
yeah,
one job.
Yeah, one job. One job. That's I just have to hit that button. That's all I do around
You're
here.
playing like the fucking New York Giants offensive line. That's all you're doing.
Yeah. Saw that again this week.
Let's get to her.
Yeah. Should we start with this?
3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah.
God damn, Kelly's in a hurry.
Oh, yeah.
So, quick introduction. I'm Dustin on the DCK show. I'm the D.
I'm Chris. I'm the C.
I'm Kelly. I'm the K.
All right. That sounds enthusiastic. A little more energy this week, guys.
So, I just got back from lunch. I'm starting off the rant. I don't care who's got what. How hard is it to be a server? How ridiculously hard is it? So we go to the new Twin Peaks. It's at where the Claim Jumpers was
Okay.
at 27th and I-17.
Yeah. By Target and stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. My brother and my dad were there first. We're sitting there. We're talking. No server came up for 25 minutes. That pisses me off. Then I go to the bar. I'm like, who's our server here? We haven't seen anybody. Oh, I'll find out. And then some fucking tart comes walking up. So it's Twin Peaks, so, they're not wearing much clothes. That's the criteria to fucking work at those places.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, when she comes to get her drink order, let's order the food because I doubt she's going to come back. Sure as shit, she didn't fucking come back. They brought our food. First, they brought us the wrong food. Then they brought the right food, and we still hadn't had our drinks. How fucking hard is it? The manager walks by 5 times, didn't go, is everything okay here? He saw us there for 45 minutes. No drinks. Not even water. Like, what the fuck? That's my rant.
All
like,
right.
How hard is it to be a fucking server?
Yeah.
And my dad's like, I'm paying because he knew I wasn't going to tip. I'm like, she didn't bring the drinks. She didn't bring the food. She brought the bill and took the order.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have that. I've had that happen before. I mean, sometimes, and that's where you got to be careful too, right? Because, like, you're already starting off on the wrong foot with me as a customer, and then I start getting a little sassy, and then they want to cut me off from drinks, and then it makes me even more mad. It's like, literally, so this happened to my brother one time. We were at a restaurant. I'm not going to name names here, but we were at a restaurant, and...
What does it rhyme with? Schmapple Schmees?
Applebee's? Yeah, it is.
It might. So we're at this restaurant, and lady takes literally same thing, like 15, 20 minutes before she even comes to the table to acknowledge us. So we both order beers, and whoever else was with us, I can't remember. We probably had a handful of people with us at this particular time. There's probably 5 of us. And it took like another 10 minutes just to get the beers. So when she dropped off the beers, Kevin goes, can I go ahead and put my next order round in now? Like, because it took so long. Like, I want to not be waiting for the next one. And she goes, okay. She turns around, walks away. 2 minutes later, a manager walks up and tells Kevin he's cut off. And I'm like, that's a dick move. I mean, yeah, Kevin was being a little sassy about it, but I don't blame him. I was frustrated too.
Yeah.
Like, so
There's
man.
nothing fucking worse than going to a restaurant and sitting down and waiting for 15 minutes or however long it is before you get even a high or a water or, any
Right.
silverware, whatever it is, You want to be acknowledged at least, especially when you see them walking around your section doing things. You know
It used to be that when a server came to your table for the first time, they already had a round of water, and they would set those down and introduce themselves.
Yep.
That used to be
Yeah.
normal, and that's gone now.
Did I tell you the story when we went to Florida this past summer?
Uh-uh.
So we went out for dinner on Friday night at this restaurant, and everything was going good. You know, orders were coming, for
Did it
drinks.
rhyme with Millie's?
No. No. So the drinks come around, and then we're waiting, and it's like, fuck, it's 45, 50 minutes after we ordered food. And everything comes out of 6 entrees, 5 were fucking bone cold. And the one was hot, the salmon. And I'm like, all right, whose food was hot here? Because mine was cold. And they're like, mine was cold. No, mine was hot. I'm like, they forgot to make yours, and they left ours sitting there for 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that a Canadian thing, by the way? Bone cold?
I don't know.
Bone cold.
Stone cold,
Stone cold.
bone cold.
What?
What? So then we complain.
Hey, listen here, manager. This fucking food.
I'm like, the
bone
cold, the fries were fucking ice cold. I complained. The manager comes. Well, first off, the server was really good. She's like, I'm sorry. She had the manager come over before the food because it was taking so long. She knew that there was a problem with the kitchen, and she complained. The manager came over there. We're getting everything. Don't worry about it. You guys need more drinks. They did everything right. It was just the kitchen that fucked up. So then I complained, and I'm like, this tastes great, except it's cold. I want it hot. Okay, sir, we'll bring you another one. If you want to eat that one or whatever, I'll take it off the bill. I'm like, okay, they're doing everything right.
Yeah.
So I get another burger, comes out. It didn't taste as good as the first one. And I'm eating that, and they're like, okay, everything good? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. They brought like more plates of tots and fries because they were all cold. So we had like a shit ton of extra food, and they took, beers and entrees off. And then I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden she's walking up with another fucking burger. And I'm like, what's that? She's like, they fucked up. They made two refreshes on you. Here's your other burger. So I had 3 fucking burgers sitting there.
I thought you were going to say in your belly.
And the third one tasted worse than the second one, which tasted worse than the first one,
Which was cold.
which was cold.
Diminishing returns.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Oh, man, are we going to do like a financial show today?
Right?
Liability.
I was just,
Brilliant.
and that's the day we fly into Florida. So already I'm pissed off because I'm fucking flying. I hate flying. I like getting there and relaxing and drinking and whatever else, but
Likewise. I hate
get
flying.
there, it's like 9:30 at night, and we haven't eaten since fucking breakfast at the airport here. I'm fucking just.
There's a sushi place that I like to go to out here, and there's a lady that works at a server there that is fucking ridiculously slow and just horrible overall. I think she might have like Asperger's or something. She definitely has some issue going on with her, but I've been in there when it's been just like 3 people, and she's almost had a mental breakdown, like trying to serve 3 tables. And then one time we went in there with a group of us that all trained together. I think we took like 12 people there, and like 8 of us showed up, right? So she sits us, and she's like, you can see she's like got that look, that fear of God look in her eyes already, just
Right.
looking at like an 8 top. And then like 2 more people show up, and she's like, well, where are you guys going to sit? And they're like, oh, we'll just sit right here. And then like 2 more people come in, and then she does the same thing. And then they sit next to the other 2, and she's like, now hold on, wait. She said that. She goes, hold on, wait. Now, how many more people do you guys have showing up? I need to know. And we're like, I think this is it. And she's like, okay, well, I need to make sure. And I stop, and I turn to her and I go, what do you need to make sure about? she's like, well, I have these tables. I've got to serve people. And I said, yeah, and if we have more people come in, they're going to sit down and they're going to pay for their food and you're going to serve them. So what are you worried about? And she was like, and then she kind of like had a moment and just walked off.
I have a suspicion I may know what sushi place you're talking about.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because said place likes to also charge automatic gratuities for groups over the size of 5.
Oh, yeah.
Which pisses me off.
And it's a very small place.
Yes, very small.
Mhm.
Yes.
With
Is
lots
it-
of
is it-
pictures on the wall.
Is it the corner of Happy Valley and Lake Pleasant?
No.
Is not that
This
one?
is more kind of off the I-10 and Camelback area.
You want to take a
around there.
pull off of that one today?
Absolutely. Scotch.
Oh, man, more scotch. You guys are going to get looser
Which
and
one is
looser
this?
on me.
You tell me if you like it.
Okay.
Uh-oh. There's the sip. Let's see. No facial expression yet. He's
Holy, that's
taking more
quite-
than a rip. Oh, that didn't sound like...
Ooh, that's really good.
That is Costco brand. It's the big bottle, like the 1.75 liter, and it's $38.
Really?
That's my go-to. Now, I am a single malt snob. That is a blended scotch.
That's really good. Got a little bit of that smoky flavor at the end, but it's smooth.
Little sweetness, smooth.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I want to ask you something sports related, since that's what we're supposed to be doing here.
Hey. We're talking about guy things.
Fuck
Yeah.
sports.
And guys drink fucking
No.
scotch.
I want to know what you did this weekend, Chris.
Well, man, had a pretty good weekend.
Did you go to Home Depot?
I went to Home Depot, did all the
Little
fun
Bed Bath and
Yeah,
Beyond.
Bed Bath. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time though. I did-
energy. Yeah.
But
Go to the Hobby Lobby.
overall it was a good weekend. I did allow another grown man to take a nap on my watch though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Tell us about that.
I choked a man unconscious this weekend, which was quite an experience, and it was legal, and I did not get in trouble.
It was sanctioned.
And it was sanctioned, and it was agreed upon that it could happen before it happened. So, yeah, I had a jiu-jitsu tournament this weekend. It is called the Southwest Classic here in Arizona, and this is the third brown belt competition I've competed in. I just got promoted to brown belt like less than a year ago. So this is the third brown belt competition I did, and I went against a guy that, in his own right, he's a very seasoned competitor. He's a 4-stripe brown belt, so I mean he's basically right there to black belt, and he's done a lot of competitions, has a lot of good wins in competitions, and I choked him out in about 20 seconds.
Was he just ill prepared, or did you
No.
did you jump on him like a spider monkey?
So I did try to jump on him like a spider monkey, and he
was prepared for.
So yeah, he actually did a good job of like fighting away the grips I was trying to get, and he dropped down to a single leg. So like if you're familiar with wrestling, you got a single leg, picked up the one leg, he has his head on the inside of the one leg that he's holding up, and he took me down. But as he was doing that, I had my left hand and I got a grip on his left gi collar, and I took my wrist and I put it under his chin and circled my arm around his head. So as he dropped me to the mat with the single leg, he threw my leg by to try to pass it. And as he did that, I circled my arm over the back of his head. I dove underneath him and I grabbed his far leg, which would be his right leg. And so I'm holding him like this, and I basically have his own gi wrapped around his neck.
I didn't know you were allowed to use that against him.
Well, yeah, I mean, because we wear gis,
right.
So jiu-jitsu, there's no striking, takedown submissions, points, wins as well. But yeah, you can use the gi. You can even use your own belt as long as it's still. You can't just take your belt off and wrap it around somebody's neck. Come here.
That's what I would do.
Fucking lasso somebody around the neck.
That's a wrestling move.
Yeah, you said wrestling.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'd grab it. I'd push some spectator out of a chair, grab that thing, and start running back.
But yeah, so yeah, he went for the single leg and he took me down.
So you didn't say, "Hey, nice bum, where you from?" and take him from behind.
Nope, I didn't check the oil. I didn't even have to.
Shit.
I didn't even have to.
No.
But it was
All right.
it was over and quick, and he took a nap. I mean, he was snoring on my shoulder, and
Well, good for you.
I had to like kind of get out from underneath him, and he he was still asleep in like the fetal position with his face down on the mat and his arms just kind of slumped down. And he was like that for about 20 seconds before he woke up. They had the medical staff out there and stuff.
Did you put him into a recovery position? You ever take CPR?
Yeah, where you turn him
like,
over, and you're supposed to actually, when they go out like that, you should lift their legs up, and it helps the blood rush back to their head quicker. But he was like curled up, fetal.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to like knock. But he woke up and everything was good.
Remember when we thought you were gonna have to use those jujitsu skills?
Yeah,
at
at
NASCAR.
NASCAR, yeah.
We were watching some kid get beat the shit up by
2 brothers.
Yeah, it was 2 brothers going at it. And it was it's in the parking lot after the race. One of the wildest things I've ever seen. And it took we ran over there and 8 other people ran over, and it took a lot of people to separate these 2 guys.
We had to go out there and separate them, and where the cars are driving, on their exit.
On the road. They're fighting
on the
in
road.
the middle of the
They're
road.
fighting in the middle of the road. So we grab them, pull them apart, try to get them to the side. Then when cops start coming over or trying to get away. And then the one brother's crying because he's all drunk. And he's
the other one left him.
Yeah.
He lived in Mesa.
Yeah, they lived in Mesa. The one brother left the other brother for after he was beating his ass, and he's like, I don't even know why he's beating me up. I don't know what I did. What's going on?
And now he left me to boot.
Yeah, they were hammered, and they got separated, and then a couple of those people that helped us separate them ended up they're
giving him a ride home.
We live in Mesa. We'll give you a ride home.
Yeah, we were offering the ride too. Neither one of us wanted to drive to Mesa because that's obviously the opposite direction of home. But we were willing to do it. But when we found out they were from Mesa, they said they'd be willing to take him. So we were like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
that was a good time.
Yeah, that was fun.
Maybe one day that guy will listen to this show and he'll email us and be like, that was me.
That
I was getting my
me.
ass kicked by my brother.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
So we're watching sports last night, and you said I got a story. Did you tell your story yet?
No. I don't remember what story. I made a note about something else that I wanted Chris to talk about, but I don't remember me having one.
Well, maybe that was it.
Yeah. So the genesis of quote unquote, I'll take the hit. That's a good story.
You know what? I honestly can't remember how it culminated.
That does not surprise me.
You know what I mean? We were fucking plastered when.
So we were at Dusty and Stacy's house for Dusty and I's birthday. We have the same birthday. So every year we switched which house the birthday party was at. So I'm there. You, me, Marissa, and Kim were all there, right?
Yeah.
And we are all, me, Chris, Marissa, are all completely bombed. And I don't remember if Kim was or not. I don't think she was because that's not like her.
Yeah.
But for some
she may
reason,
have had a little bit of a buzz.
yeah, for some reason, when we were leaving, Chris insisted on driving. Maybe you're right. Maybe Kim had a couple drinks and she was afraid she was going to get a DUI and didn't know how to get to my house from Dusty's since it was the first time she'd ever been there. Chris grabbed the keys out of her hands, goes, "It's fine. I'll take the hit." So we all pile into, I think we were in the Pathfinder or something that night. And we all pile in. And then we get home. He drops us off at my house. I don't have my keys on me. And the garage door opener, the fucking keypad, dead. I have no way to get in the house. So now I'm contemplating looking at her car and my truck and going, which window is going to be cheaper to replace? Because garage door openers are in the cars, And I try calling Chris. I'm like, hey, come back, or bring me a 9-volt battery or something, because he only lived a mile away, And I pulled the 9-volt battery out, and as I did, the fucking keypad flashed. And I'm like, ooh. So I had her, with her fingers on the buttons ready, and I said, as soon as I plug this fucking thing in, you hit that code as quick as you can. She did. It started opening, and then the keypad shut off, but the door had already activated,
Nice.
so we were able to get in. Anyway, point of that, I'll take the hit, then became a very popular phrase amongst this group regarding being a designated driver, a designated drunk driver.
The drunk-ignited driver.
Yeah, instead of being a DDD in this group, it was just referred to as, oh, he's taking the hit tonight.
Yeah, who's taking the hit? And then you just...
I thought it was
as
in
people
reference
leave,
to
you just say,
something
don't
else.
take the hit.
Mm-mm.
You know, like, oh, I got to take one for the team. You know, as a wingman,
Yeah, right.
you gotta take the fatty.
No,
home.
there's none of that going on here.
Yeah.
Everybody
I
around
had
me,
sex last
everybody
night
around me is married.
with
so.
a girl. What did you skin a
I
cheetah?
boinked her.
I boinked her.
Did you just say the word boinked? No, yeah, we get it.
He's like, oh, would you skin a cheetah?
No,
movie
man,
is that
they're her
from? Is
underwear.
that-
Road trip.
Oh.
Road trip. All right, let's get into it. What do you guys want to start with this week?
Well, you got NASCAR up there.
I do have NASCAR up there.
Let's just get her done.
Let's get it done. So this past week at Vegas,
Would you say it was controversial?
it was, and then it wasn't. I guess would be one way to say it. So Kyle Larson goes out and there's already some controversy there. There's some people that think he drove the right rear of his car up into the wall on purpose to make it handle better, to get a little more an aero advantage, and he ended up winning the race. Nothing illegal about accidentally running into the fence. So, people just hate when a guy that wins a lot. You know what I mean? So, anyway, he goes out, wins the race. For the points for this week, Kelly took the win on the week, having picked Ryan Blaney. Chris and I both had William Byron, who finished one spot behind Blaney. So, it was very close this week. But the controversy comes in that on Sunday night or Monday morning, NASCAR announced that Ryan Blaney was going to be his sixth place finishing position was going to be stripped from him, including all his stage points that he accrued, because they had a left front shock that was not long enough on the car. So that
for 24 hours,
Yeah, for 24
I had
hours.
1 point this week.
Yes, that's correct.
And now I'm the wiener.
Yep. So then NASCAR, I don't think that that the Penske team even challenged. I think they went back and checked their template themselves. NASCAR did, and found that they had a problem with their template. So they rechecked that shock, and it was fine. It was within spec, so they re-awarded his points back to him. Yes, obviously they can challenge any penalties or fines that are handed down, and I think they were going to, but they didn't even need to. NASCAR fixed it themselves. So
That's horse shit.
yeah. So whether it really was legal or illegal, I guess none of us will ever know.
Well, fucking Ryan Blaney. He got us, Dustin.
Yeah, but you know what? That's not all that matters. What matters is the standings, and that's what I'm most happy about. I'm now in the lead, 254 points. Kelly's got 242, and Chris is still clawing for points back there at 210.
Yeah. It's tough to miss a race, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
That's what's going to happen.
you did that to yourself.
Yeah.
No, we still have 3 races to go, though, in this playoff. So this week we've got Homestead, Miami. And then next week will be Martinsville, and then the following week, the championship race in Phoenix.
Isn't this a big one, though?
A big one meaning?
Miami? Is it like a cut-down one?
It's a 1.5 mile track.
No, but it's not. Is it a?
Oh, no, it's not an elimination race.
It's not an elimination.
Martinsville next week will be. Yeah.
Martinsville will drop it down to 2.
To
the
four,
final,
four,
or to 4.
To
Okay,
the final
yeah.
4 for
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. And then all chaos will ensue in
At
Phoenix.
Yeah. You know, and there's a lot of people that don't like Phoenix as the championship race because it's kind of a boring track to watch races at. I don't necessarily disagree with that.
It's just got that weird dog leg.
Well, not just that. It's
got like a 5th corner.
It's kind of like an in-between course. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not quite a speedway, and it's not quite an oval quick track.
Well,
you know what I mean?
and turns 1 and 2 are different than 3 and 4, so it's hard. 1 and 2 are flatter. 3 and 4 have more banking. It's hard for crew chiefs to nail a good setup, and inevitably we've seen Chris and I have, with the exception of the recent couple years, we've been to every race that's been run there for the last 10, 15 years.
Shit, I can't. Yeah, going season tickets all the way back to before I had kids.
Yeah. So I mean, patterns emerge when you go to every one of those races. We knew every year who was good there, and we know now who's good there. Denny Hamlin's
even after
always
like
good
the
there.
track reconstruction, and you know what? Honestly, I do like the track setup now more than it was
I agree.
before. And I like what they've done with the grandstands and the viewer, like the ability for where you sit as a viewer.
Yeah, you have a lot more people in the shade than you used to have. It's more comfortable.
And they got some cooler areas where you can watch the race without having to like leave kind of if you go to the grandstands or go up to the grandstands, most of the time you couldn't see the race going on. Now they have areas where if you leave your seat, you can still see a lot of the race going on.
Right.
While you're kind of walking or looking around.
Yeah, it's definitely much better than it used to be.
Did I tell you I did the Rusty Wallace
no, you didn't tell us that.
driving experience?
driving experience there when
Yeah.
I think it was the first January we were here.
Hell yeah. I did that one time too.
2012.
How'd you like that?
It was cool. I mean, they give you a NASCAR in quotes.
It's one from 10 years prior.
Yeah, and it's not fast. It's like, if you're lucky to get up to 100.
I would have expected more out of it.
The one thing that was fucking amazing is you do a ride along with a real NASCAR driver so in a fast car.
Well, that's where I would expect you to get up to. Yeah, when they're letting you drive, you're limited to 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But when they're driving, it's much faster than that, right?
Yeah, like they do like 5 laps or something. It was like $50.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
or,
that would be
or
cool.
whatever. And you go fucking fast. I was in there, my glasses were vibrating, bouncing up and down in my fucking helmet.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is fucking awesome. And you could hear the guy, he's laughing, right? He's weaving in through all these cars because he does it at the same time where other people are on the track. Because
That doesn't seem safe.
That would be so fucking awesome.
you have spotters in when you're a driver telling you, hey, number 96, somebody's coming up. Make sure you stay to the left or whatever because they're zipping by.
Shake and bake.
Yeah, it was
Slingshot engage.
it was like $400 a person.
I did
it was cool.
The Richard Petty version.
Yeah, the Richard Petty one on PIR track, and but we were in like Cadillac CTVs. I think I mean it was fun. It wasn't an actual NASCAR, so to speak, but it was fun. I mean, our driver got a little crazy with it, and he actually did. He went inside on another guy, and he rode up like we could have literally touched the other car next to us at whenever he was like making the pass, and then they stopped letting him do 2 cars on the track at the same time after that. So we got a cool experience.
Yeah,
but it was fun.
Nice. Yeah. So anyway, Homestead this weekend. I haven't made my pick yet. I have yet to look at what I still have available because I feel like I've used up a lot of good options for that track.
Have you used Christopher Bell yet?
I have.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember if I did yet or not.
Now we're coming down. We got like 3 races to go. I've got like probably 3 or 4 drivers off these 3 races that I'm really like.
Martinsville,
like, which
and
track
Phoenix.
do I want to use them at? You know what I mean?
And a lot of times the guys that are good at Martinsville are good at Phoenix too. So that's your
then,
Joey Logano's, your
exactly.
Denny
Logano's one of
Hamlin's.
those ones, and I keep thinking like it comes down to that last
Kevin
race a
Harvick.
lot of time. Who's going to be in the top spot in that last race going into it?
Yeah.
Because they have to drive their balls off to stay there.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I got Busher this week.
Busher.
Christopher Busher.
Yeah, I've got Harvick there to play. I've got Christopher Bell.
Man, Harvick at Phoenix.
I've got
that's probably
Logano.
a solid.
Logano at Phoenix also is one of the ones I've been looking at.
Harvick at
Martinsville.
I was actually going to say at Homestead.
Oh, at Homestead, yeah.
Actually, they painted his car to be a red and white Budweiser car that matches the Homestead car he won the championship in. What was that, in 2012, 13, 14, something like that. They painted the car to look exactly, not paint, it's a wrap these days, obviously, but to make it look like his championship car for his final race at Homestead. That's kind of cool.
Did they do the Wonder Bread?
Yeah, they did do that at Talladega.
Yeah.
Wonder Bread and Old Spice, the Talladega Nights cars.
Did they?
Yeah, it was pretty fucking awesome. Who was it? Ryan Priest that was Ricky Bobby. He even had like.
I do love them Fig Newtons.
Well, he still had a little bit of black eyes from the wreck a few weeks before in Daytona, but yeah, they got into it. They had a lot of fun with it. In their interviews, they kept lifting the hands and stuff, and it was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. Anyway, that should be a good race this weekend.
Exciting coming down to the last three, man.
Yep.
How about them D-backs?
Yeah.
Hey, baseball.
Hey, how about them D-backs? So, lots happened since we last recorded.
A sweep of the Dodgers.
Sweep of the Dodgers, which
is
got us,
awesome.
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
Which
you know what was even one of the coolest parts about that to me was the fact that the stadium was majority Diamondbacks fans for that game.
Yeah, I have a good friend that was at the game, and he was like, if the roof hadn't been opened, it would have fucking come off the building when they hit their 4th home run.
Yeah.
That's a notable moment, actually. 4 home runs in 1 inning. Hit by the Diamondbacks, the 3rd inning of that Game 3
First
sweep.
time it's ever happened in the
never,
playoffs.
Never been done in the playoffs by a team before. So
Significant.
That's MLB history right there.
You know, and we've been talking a little baseball along the way, talking about the D-backs. I mean, ever since the last couple weeks of the season, they've just been playing really good baseball.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing everything right. They didn't even trail in that entire Dodger series. They had 2 games that they had to come from behind against the Brewers. They were able to do it. Now we get to NLCS.
Yep.
Game 1 last night.
Phillies.
Just started out. It just started on the wrong foot. Gallen,
they did to us what we did to LA.
Exactly. And Gallen didn't look good. I wouldn't say he looked bad, but this is something that I can't stand about the Phillies, but it's probably the best part of them. They have hitters all up and down that lineup.
Yep.
The craziest thing to me is they've got a guy with Schwarber leading off who's a 40-plus home run hitter, but he only batted 196 in the regular season from the leadoff spot.
Right.
But he hit 45 home runs.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
that's the slugging percentage. That's where that's important.
And they've got Castellanos batting down in the 7th spot.
And he is
blowing the doors off of hitting right now.
Yep.
I mean, he's definitely been the best hitter, I think, in the playoffs so far this year.
So they're hitting Harper at 2,
Yeah.
which seems odd to me, but
Brandon Marsh is,
Brandon
Marsh is batting good.
So
they have Real Muto, who is a solid,
yeah. So
silver
that's how they
slugger as
started
a
the game
catcher.
last night. Schwarber home run to lead off the game, and then Harper, the very next hitter, another home run.
Yep.
And
that
then,
brings me to my next rant. What's with all these professional athletes that look like they're homeless?
Yeah.
Long hair, big bushy beards.
So there's a couple things to that, especially with Philadelphia. I don't mind it as much because it reminds me of the old school Philadelphia teams when you had John Kruk and you had Lenny Dykstra and you had those guys. So like when you see these guys up there with the big beards and all that shit looking scruffy, that to me reminds me of like Philadelphia. But there's also the tradition, like in a lot of sports, where you don't shave your beards
during
you
the
get into the playoffs.
But it's regular season.
No, it's not. It's the
No,
playoffs.
like even right now in hockey, you got like guys with big bushy beards,
yeah.
like year round, and you're a professional
I
athlete.
feel like you're hating on Joe Thornton right now.
Yeah, well, there's another one.
Smoking Joe.
Brent Burns, the defenseman for San Jose for all those years.
Yeah.
I think and then he's got a man bun and a fucking giant beard.
That's the thing that drives me crazier than anything, or all the fucking man buns that are going around.
Yeah.
Like last night, I watching Craig Kimbrell out there on the fucking mound, and not only is Craig Kimbrell's a good pitcher, but he does the little arm thing where he sticks the arm out before he throws. He has that little arm hitch that he does, which is a little unique. But then he's out there and he's got the fucking man bun sticking out from underneath the hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all curled up ponytail. And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You know?
So no, not a good start to the series last night. They did manage to come back, get a few runs. They hit a couple home runs and then even batted one in. So they lost. What was the final 6-3 or 5-3? I can't remember.
5-3.
5-3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had a chance there in the 9th inning as well. They got runner on and
Yeah, they actually stranded runners like 3 or 4 of the last 4 innings.
Yeah.
So they had chances, but it was not a good way to start. I was concerned. I am less concerned since they kind of pulled back within a couple. They just maybe had an off night, a bad start. Let's see what happens tonight in Game 2.
yeah, we need Merrill Kelly to be Zach Gallen now, right?
Yeah, and we need to figure out what in the hell we're doing for Game 3. That's Games 3 and 4 are what scare me more than anything because
Luckily, they're home games.
we don't have a true 3-4 in our rotation.
Yep.
So, yeah, they are home games. So this is a 2-3-2 series. So 2 in Philly, 3 here, and 2 back in Philly.
If
What I want to
necessary.
gripe about is the fucking start times to some of these games. This is stupid. So obviously we had our 5:07 start last night, and we'll have that tonight. Not coming up here in a bit, but the Game 3 start time that's going to be in Phoenix is 2:07 on Thursday. Everybody's still at fucking work.
Yep.
What is that all about, MLB? What are you doing to us? You bitch about not having full stadiums, and then you go and schedule a playoff game for
I think I'm
this.
feeling sick.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
First of all, it's fucking still 100 degrees.
Yes,
Here in
it is in
Phoenix.
Phoenix. That's
It's
correct.
fucking October. It should be nice and cool fall weather right now. Second of all, to your point, I'm sitting there yesterday and I'm looking at my phone and I get, like an update or whatever that says, Texas jumps out to a 4-0 first inning, and I'm like, that didn't happen last night, thinking of game 1 in their series. And then I look and I'm like, oh fuck, the game's on right now, and it's at fucking like 2 p.m. on a Monday. You know what I mean? And this is the championship series. And another point, that's a central time zone.
Right.
So they're playing the central time zone game.
Yeah, they started
as
their
the early
game
game.
at 3:30 their local time. So even for them, the
Like,
people are still at work.
The super early game.
And both teams are in Texas, so it's not like their time zone is going to change when they go from
Right.
Houston to Arlington.
And with the average game time length, the way it's been down this year, when you add in like the pitching clock and all that shit,
Right.
you could easily
These games are 2.5 hours now, not 3 like they used to be.
You could easily do like a 6 o'clock or a 5 o'clock East Coast start time, and you should still have enough time to have your prime time central time zone game.
Right.
Or, there's many ways to do it, but they shouldn't have a game, I don't think, at fucking 1 p.m. on a Monday for a championship series.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or even 3 o'clock or 2
Yeah.
o'clock.
And with that, let's pause, take a commercial break. When the mountains are blue, it is time for you to sit back, relax, enjoy your favorite pod show, and open up one of those fresh Blue Mountain Soldiers.
The
Unofficially.
DCK show live. Previously recorded.
Unofficially sponsored by the Rocky Mountains and Coors Light.
The Dick Show.
I like it in and around my mouth.
Whoa.
I was talking about the beer.
Oh, okay.
All over my face.
So to continue that discussion, actually, that brings up, why do we feel the need to try to play 2 games in one day? When you're at the championship series for the two leagues, why not have Houston and Texas play one day, us and Philly the next day, Houston, give teams the day off in between?
Yep.
It's the only 2 series you have running. You can have them both. You can have a game in prime time every single night of the week.
Yep.
Why are we playing 2 games the same
So
day?
that it's done at the end of October.
Yes,
and that's
exactly
where
the
I'm going to
point.
go
Yep.
with this.
Yep.
That's why and it actually won't be done in October. Game 4 of the series is scheduled for November 1st. So
So
we're
game
already,
4 is Halloween night, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
game 4 is
4
Halloween night. Game
and-
5 would be November 1st.
And game 7 could be on
November
the 4th.
4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're still
I
looking
mean, the
at
season's
another-
too long. They need to
And
take
that's-
20
and-
games out, start the
Dude,
playoffs.
That's the exact
Labor
number I
Day.
said.
Verbatim is exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah,
before,
that
yeah.
is exact. I said to
20
Chris, I
games.
said 20 games. If you want the fucking series to end in October like it should, and you, like Chris said, you keep expanding to the more wild card teams, then cut 20 fucking games out of the season.
You're at
and
162.
start the playoffs
Just make it
2 weeks
140.
earlier.
Make it 140.
Yeah, start
and
the
you're good.
playoffs 2
You
weeks
know what I
earlier.
mean?
That's all you got to do.
And not only that, but it was funny because this year a couple things happened. They had the sweeps in the first round, which enabled them to have a day with no baseball in the first round.
Right,
you
they
know,
could have
which
moved
is
some
crazy.
schedules up. Yeah.
Which is crazy to have in the middle of playoffs. You have a day with no games in the first round.
It
You
was
know
like
what I mean?
3 days of no games.
Yeah,
They could have
basically.
moved some of these series up and started them sooner.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
look, we finished off L.A. Philly finished the same day,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or was it the next day? Either way, we didn't play our first game for what,
5
5
days?
days?
I think it was
like,
5
why?
days.
Move
Yeah.
it up. Let's get going.
So yeah, and that's I don't know why they can't flex that. Well, I do know why, because of fucking corporate TV money and commercial sponsorship deals, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing why it's on like 2 channels now, and you have to switch
Yeah,
around
you have
for
to
the
pick.
channels.
Am I
you have to pick
watching this
one.
game or that game?
Mm-hmm. They kind of overlap each other, so you don't have a chance to watch all of one without like having to record one, or you have to flip back and forth.
Or unless you have YouTube TV where you
Right.
can have both on at once.
And this kind of touches like we were talking when they were doing the 2 Monday night games to start the football
Yeah,
season.
that was
it's the same
frustrating,
shit.
too.
It's like there's almost too much corporate money going into it at some point, but that's not going to change. The only thing that's going to change are rules to the game, the length of the game. They're going to tamper with the game before they cut back on advertising dollars. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which is a real fucking shame in sports.
Yeah, I mean, I hate looking at, and this has kind of become across all sports now, but I hate fucking looking at baseball jerseys now too, and seeing fucking
Ads on
Yellowwood
the-
stick
yeah.
or patches. Like, come on, man, we're
Seeing
advertising on.
You know what?
uniforms.
So speaking of
Suns,
which,
PayPal.
the one that's really driving me crazy though is the Houston Astros. They wear that fucking cream colored jersey, and then they have a fucking oxy patch right on their sleeve. And it's like this oxy patch is bright white, and then they got that dirty cream colored jersey, and I'm like, it fucking looks dirty, dude. It's not OxyClean.
Put a blue one on a white
It's not fucking
jersey.
OxyClean.
Put a blue OxyClean on a white jersey.
Then when did baseball start going to sponsorship on the sleeves? Like I noticed
I don't-
that this year.
Yeah,
with Avnet on the D-backs.
Basketball did it a couple seasons ago, starting out
Hockey's
a couple
done
years
it
ago.
for a few years now, several years now. Hockey, it's on their helmets. So instead of saying Phoenix Coyotes on the side, it says, I don't know what the fuck their sponsor is this year, Desert
Hooters.
Financial or something.
No name brand sponsor, because the Coyotes aren't doing shit.
Well, they're 1-1. I mean, let's be fair.
Hey, it's early. It's early. 80
1-1.
more games.
Yeah. Yeah. So
We'll get into hockey talk eventually. Right now,
Yeah.
we haven't really.
There's not much
Yeah.
to talk about.
Yeah, there's just not much going on with the hockey yet.
not
Yeah.
until
Season did
not
start.
until November.
Hmm.
Not until the World Series is over.
Yeah, exactly.
all right. Well,
There's another sports league that it's a little too long.
What, NHL?
Yeah, hockey.
I mean,
I think it's okay.
NBA.
No, I'm talking like I love playoffs, but playoffs last for like 2.5 months.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, though, because I would rather watch 2 months of playoff hockey and shorten some of the regular season. You know what I mean? 82 games for the NBA and for NHL is too long. The same as 162 is too long for MLB. And I kind of don't really like how they added another week with the NFL schedule just because they took a week away from preseason.
Yeah, I don't like
And
the
it
whole
doesn't really
17
make sense to me. Yeah.
games instead of 16. And yeah,
Yeah, it's all weird.
times are changing. Ladies can do things now.
Yeah, and one more thing before we move on.
Anchorman.
The Rangers are up 2-0
Yeah.
right now in their
They
series, and they've looked really good.
Yes,
I
they
mean,
have.
they've been hitting, and their pitching has been great. So it'll be interesting to see. I think I'd
Well-
love to see a Rangers Diamondbacks World Series.
Yes, I would. And if that does happen,
Oh, man.
fingers crossed, I would ask one thing of the Diamondbacks: wear purple wear the white with purple pinstripes
Yeah, please.
for all of your home games.
Please.
Wear your red and gray on the road, but wear that white purple pinstripe with the sleeved separate undershirt for your home games. How
fucking
badass would
somebody
that
come
be?
out there with a bloody sock on.
Yeah, no. That wasn't here. That was in
I
Boston.
know. I'm just saying though.
Fucking Kurt Schilling.
Chilling.
Kurt Schilling.
The
All
man.
right.
So does that wrap that up?
Yeah, I
guess
think it does.
That's the end of baseball.
All right. All right, guys. Let's move on. Let's go to college football. Let's start out with the standings because it's still tight. So we're only looking at the part season standings here because Kelly missed the first game of the year.
Because somebody didn't send it to me until after the first fucking week.
No, it's
I got the
just
emails to prove it.
plain
Just
not
never
true.
mind.
So do I.
Never mind.
So do I. So with the week 2 through 8 factored, Chris is sitting at 98 and 17. I'm at 97 and 18, and Kelly's at 95 and 20. This is a tight race, boys.
Mm-hmm.
That is a tight race. We're well beyond what we called the predictable part of the season early on, but even then, I would say with those records, that's fucking stellar.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's
Like, people should be listening to us for betting.
that's. I mean, overall,
But
honestly,
we're not. The odds of Oregon getting minus 21 points. So if you're just betting straight up on them, you're not getting the odds. You got to play the points.
Yeah, still, there's some good parlay.
Yeah, we're not
picks in
doing
there
points.
Too,
Yeah.
There's definitely. It's just to pick the games without points straight up.
What did you do to my computer while I was gone?
Nothing. I just tried to pull up Google and
Because it ain't loading shit.
I
now.
told you it was slow.
Yeah, that's something happened while I stepped out of the room. What'd you do?
Uh-oh.
Nothing.
All right.
Probably.
It's a work issue. Hey, did I guys tell you while you're dealing with that? Did I tell you about how I had the guy call at the school about Sadie's lunches?
No.
Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! So this is a couple weeks ago. The week before fall break happened. Fall break was last week for the girls, and I'm just like kind of hanging out before I got to go get the girls. Like I got done training, was doing some stuff around the house, and I get a call from the school, and I'm thinking it's one of the girls, and I answer it, and it's one of Sadie's teachers, and he told me that she got pulled out of a class because she was eating in class, and the teacher told her not to eat, and she kept eating, so she got pulled out of class, and she got put into the reset room. Okay. Now she is
What is a reset room?
She is no stranger to the reset room this year. The reset room is the new thing, where it's the new sit down and think about your actions, basically. It's the fucking, instead of giving kids detention or instead of telling a kid to go to the office, now they go to the reset room where they have to reflect on the decisions that they've made that put them in the reset room.
Okay.
Yeah. Fucking retarded.
I think we need one of those at my office.
Anyways,
I'm going to put one of those in my house and just send myself there all the time.
Yeah. You or somebody else.
I call that my garage.
Yeah.
Right? It's my reset room.
Exactly.
All right. So, college
I
football.
didn't even tell my story, but that's okay because we're up.
I thought you told
No. That was like getting into the story.
Oh, okay. So, go on.
Yeah,
Don't
why
worry
you got to
about
cut
it.
them
No,
off?
college
Oh,
football.
sorry, my
Let's go to
bad.
college
Oh,
football.
you're
This
the king of
is-
cutting people
is
off. What are you
more
talking
important.
about?
Anyways, I'll just shorten it up. So he calls me, and she got into trouble for eating in the classroom and not the lunch. But then he started questioning why she wasn't eating her lunch, and she told him that it was because she wanted to play with her friends and not eat her lunch. Except on the phone, as he's telling me this, now he starts conveying to me, we don't want our kids. He said this to me actually. He goes, I see, she has nice shoes and she wears, nice clothes and, she looks well dressed. I just wouldn't want her to not be getting enough food at home. And I was like, huh?
What?
Exactly. I was like, what?
We spend all our money on clothes and we don't feed our kids.
Yeah. So he started implying to me without actually saying it. Basically, he was concerned that I wasn't feeding her enough or giving her enough food at lunch. And so he asked me, would you like it if I brought her into the classroom at lunch and she can eat her lunch in here and we can make sure she gets a full lunch before she goes out and plays?
What the fuck?
And I told the guy, I said, look, I don't know you, but I'm starting to think that you think I don't feed my kid. And he was like, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. And I said, no, just let me say something. I said, I'm a chef. First of all, I'm a chef. Second of all, these kids didn't even eat fucking jarred baby food. I said, I've been making their food for them since they were babies. They've had their own food since they were kids.
Yeah.
I make my daughter a lunch every day. If she doesn't eat it, that's her choice. That's not something that she's getting a lack of.
Right.
And essentially that's where I left it at. And he said, well, I didn't want you to think that I was coming across that way. And I said, well, how else was I supposed to take that?
Right.
You're just telling me that your concern wasn't that she was eating outside of lunch, but your concern was that she wasn't getting food to eat.
Yeah.
And he he proceeded to kind of
Are
apologize.
they skinny girls?
She is, but again, this is her. She gets a
They're
lunch
just
every
used to
day.
fat kids doing nothing.
Right, exactly. And
That's
she
all
gets
it
a
is.
lunch made every day,
Well,
you know.
yeah, and how old is Sadie now?
13.
13. I mean, what do you expect? It's a 13-year-old.
That's what I'm saying. Like how is that on like
Most kids are still skinny at that age because most
Well, they should be.
They should be. They as long as they're physically active and out doing things, they should be. And I know your children, and I know that they are.
Yeah.
So there's that. Number
they're
one.
both
I know
on the
all
volleyball
sports-
team at the
Yeah,
school.
I know
they
the sports
play
that they
school
participate
sports.
in.
They,
They
play
play
outside of
basketball, they
school
play
sports.
soccer.
Exactly.
Yeah. So no.
I train jujitsu fucking like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I help coach jujitsu.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not,
And
she's
at
depriving
the age,
my kids of food.
She's also at the age where the rebellion begins.
Yeah.
So the rebellion is, no, I don't want to sit here and eat my lunch. I want to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
And now is my opportunity to do that before you stick me back in a classroom where I can't talk to
You
anybody.
should have said, I give her as least nutritious food as possible so that she can throw it up, because how else is she going to be a supermodel?
At lunch,
Exactly.
when I was
Just
that age,
say something just dumbass.
at lunchtime when I was that age, I powered through whatever I had to eat as quick as I could because the rest of the lunch hour was recess. All
Yeah.
I wanted to do was
Just
get
boom
out of the
and get
building
out the
and
door,
get
yeah.
outside and have fun.
And so she's fallen into these habits where she'll eat in class and she'll just not eat at lunch so she can go play. Now, part of that, of course, some of the teachers are like, hey, don't eat in class. Like, that's distracting. I get that, okay? But at the same time, I told her, I was like, dude, just power through it. Eat your lunch quickly, or just make sure you're not getting in trouble. If the teacher says don't eat in there,
don't eat in there.
don't take another fucking bite right in front of the teacher. And that's
Yeah.
what got her in the whole situation.
Okay, so she
You
was
know what I
being
mean?
a little, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it just went from like her doing that little defiance to this guy talking to me like I don't feed my fucking kids.
Right.
Well,
Not-
here's the
not
other thing: eat when
Not
you're
cool.
hungry, not on a set schedule.
Right.
That's what's way healthier for you.
And that's how she goes, man. She eats when she wants food, and the rest
Yeah.
of the time she's fuck you. This is Sadie's world. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's my story. So now I got to finish it.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, quick review of the week in college football. I think the big one that, like Kelly already said, most of us didn't see coming was Oregon losing to Washington, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that was...
I mean, it's an upset, but not an upset. I think, like, if you look at it,
And Arizona.
I honestly, I was surprised. I didn't think Washington was that good. I thought Washington. I knew Michael Penix Jr. is good. They've got wide receivers though.
And they're now, what, number 5 now?
Yeah,
Or
they,
6? 5 or
yeah,
6?
5.
Yeah.
I think they overtook OU, dropped to 6 with a bye week. But
Yeah, and then as Kelly said, Arizona beating up Washington State. That was even more surprising, I think. Just how much they beat them up by. More
I
than
think
anything.
we said that was a close spread going into that game last week too.
Yeah.
Which was one of the games where kind of like I don't know,
Could go either way, but I didn't think 44-6.
Nope, hell no, absolutely not.
And then the one that killed me, USC.
Yeah.
You know,
And they always do. It's USC versus Notre Dame. I'm like, I hate both teams.
Well,
I hate betting on both teams.
I almost feel like within going recent history and traditionally Notre Dame chokes in that game for some reason. You know what I mean? That's how it seemed.
Whoever I bet on loses.
that's the
just
story,
how it is.
right? Yeah.
Every year.
This and I don't really like picking Notre Dame, but I did pick them for this game. I just watching USC and like we talked about the way their defense have been against not as good of teams, it just kind of screamed to me like this game was going to be the game it would break. You know what I mean?
Well, and then Mizzou came through for me.
Definitely
like
wasn't
they did.
riding Caleb Williams' dick this week, man.
No. Mizzou came through for me again and got me one that got over on
Dude,
both
Missouri,
of you guys.
they're quietly having a very good season. you
Yeah,
know?
so Chris and I both had 14 wins, and he got it on the tiebreak again this week.
Fucking again.
The total score was 27. He had a 42, and I had a 46. So
Yeah, boy.
yeah. Kelly, if you got to get in there on them games, then your tiebreaker score there would have won it. You had the 35.
I know, but I was down 2 games.
I know. That's why I'm saying you got get a couple more right.
Louisville
Get in the
showed up in the top 25 just to get embarrassed by Pitt. That was
Yeah. So, Oklahoma State beating Kansas. Also, didn't see. I thought Kansas would handle business, but a 1-score game. So
my theory going into that, Kansas, they had the one loss going into it. They were ranked before that one loss. I just kind of thought maybe the bubble got bursted a little bit, you know what I mean? And maybe they're starting to come back down to earth a little. On top of that, Oklahoma State started the season struggling, trying to figure out what they want to do with their quarterbacks.
Yeah,
the last couple of games, they've kind of been putting together. I think now they're 4-2 on the year, and I'm not saying they're like a great team, but they've been playing consistent, and that was a home game for them.
Yeah.
So that was the basis of me picking Oklahoma State.
yeah. So, should we look at?
I'll tell you what, fucking Colorado fucked me. Colorado fucked me this weekend, that's for sure.
Who'd they lose to again?
Stanford.
Stanford in double
So,
overtime.
Cardinal.
How do you go from a 29-0 halftime
Yeah.
lead to losing in double overtime?
I had a $50 two-leg parlay with Colorado and Fresno State. Fresno State got the job done. It's 29-0 at halftime Colorado, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go and start playing some video games. And I fucking come back like 4 hours later, and I'm like, what the fuck happened?
I didn't realize it. I didn't know it until the next day.
Yeah.
I saw it I turned that off. I moved on with my life.
Yep.
And next day I'm like, whoa, how the
Yeah.
hell did that happen?
Fucking Colorado.
What is it, 46-43 or 49-46? Something like that was the final.
Yeah, in double overtime.
Yeah, in double
46-43 or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Wild.
get the fuck out of
So,
here, Colorado.
can we stop with the Colorado hype train, please? What's
Dude.
frustrating is they're getting a primetime game yet again this week on TV, and they're not fucking ranked, and they're not playing a ranked team, whereas a ranked team like Washington, who's at 5, their game will not be on in prime. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Give that slot to the fucking number 5 team.
Sexy sells, baby.
That's
I
right.
know. I know.
Fucking
It's
24 karat gold out there.
It's just
You know what I mean?
frustrating. It's just
Dude,
frustrating.
so I don't watch Saturday Night Live at all anymore, but this last
Nor
weekend,
do I, actually.
they had a good...
Well, wasn't this their first week back?
Yeah,
from
the
writer's
new
strike?
season
Yeah.
or the new, from the strike. This week they did have I saw a skit on the Weekend Update, and it was Deion Sanders, quote unquote. You know? what
Oh,
I
I
mean?
did see
Yeah,
that one. I did.
That
I
shit
did
was
see that.
funny.
It was pretty
fucking,
funny. It was what's his name?
Not Keenan, Kel. Is it Kel or Keenan or?
No, it's Keenan.
It is Keenan.
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
yeah.
Yeah, Keenan.
Yeah, he's playing Deion Sanders.
Yeah, and he kept being like, Colin, look at me. Oh, dude, it was.
It
good.
was- yeah,
It was
we'll have to
hilarious.
watch that,
It
yeah.
was
It's
fucking
pretty funny.
hilarious. Yeah.
All right, so let's quick go through the games that are happening this week. The ones that we think are kind of worth noting. Let's start out with Penn State and Ohio State. That's a kind of a rivalry game, right? I mean,
Huge game.
Conference game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's two schools that don't like each other.
3
They're
versus
both-
7.
Yeah, they're both 6-0.
Ohio State's favored.
By 4 points.
I'm taking Penn State.
I
in that
think I
game.
would take Penn State
I'm
in that
taking
game
Penn
too.
State.
I think I
have
took
faith in-
Ohio.
I have faith in Penn State in that game. For some reason this year, they've been looking really good. And I'm not saying Ohio State isn't, but I think the momentum, I think they get them.
Another ranked versus ranked, Tennessee, Alabama, 11-17.
I got Alabama in that one.
Alabama.
It pains
I
me
would
to
too.
say that. I like Tennessee, but nope. I think they're figuring it out. However, they're still having some quarterback issues in Alabama this year.
Yep. And then
Not consistent.
the other couple quick ranked games that are happening is you've got Duke taking on Florida State.
Florida State, in my opinion,
By a
that'll be a
lot.
good game.
Yeah.
But I think Florida State definitely covers the spread in that one.
Which is 14 points on the one we're looking at, and then Utah, USC.
Man.
Coming off the week USC had, that actually makes that a tougher pick.
I said before the season that I thought Utah was the best team in the pack, and they had the loss to Oregon State, but that was a tough game on the road. I honestly, before I picked this game for this, I have to see what Utah's quarterback situation is going into the game. Just off the top of my head, though, I'm going to have to ride Utah. I think they have enough consistency to still give.
Yeah,
USC.
SC's just been wobbly.
Yeah,
They've been
they
up
just-
and down. I mean, they let Arizona
offense is
State
good.
hang in. They let
Offense is
Arizona
good,
hang
but the
in.
defense is trying.
Yep.
You
I'll
know?
tell you right now, I took USC, so Utah is the play.
Is the
Right.
pick.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the
for
pick.
sure. Yeah, no, because they're gonna let me down.
If you're
Yeah.
a betting man,
Hey,
Yeah.
and our Sun Devils made this list for once, not for a good reason. Just so happens they're playing the number 5 team in the
old
country.
UW playing them
Washington.
West Coast dogs, huh?
Yep, playing Washington. So
The Huskies. I think that's
Yep.
going to be a Washington win.
and then then
So go back up. There was one game to me that I thought was kind of interesting. Which game was it? It was the Auburn and
Mississippi.
Mississippi game. Going into Auburn, Mississippi's favored. Mississippi's
Less than a touchdown.
good. Auburn's struggling this year, but again, that's one of those games
never know when Auburn's
you
gonna
never
stand
know.
up.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
never know
I'm
with
here.
Auburn, and it's at Auburn.
Yeah.
And we're starting to get later into the season.
Yep.
That might be one to put on the radar. I'm still going to take Mississippi in it, I think, but 4.5 point spread. With a 3-3 team versus a number 13 team in this, or number 13 rank in the top 25. So
So I got a story for you. This was back when I was betting college football a lot.
Mhm.
It was Auburn versus Alabama. It was the Iron
the
Bowl.
field goal game, the field goal return game.
No, I don't know. So this was when Cam Newton's last year, I believe.
Mhm.
So
we're going a little ways back here.
oh yeah. So I don't remember exactly, but I picked Auburn, and every touchdown that Alabama scored, I was still betting on Auburn the whole way. They got down 27-0, and I think they won 28-27.
Mm-hmm.
And I was betting it the whole way, and I fucking made a killing off that game.
That was a national championship year for Auburn, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because he only played the 1 year there. Cam.
It was,
Newton
and it was
did.
like a close point spread. I think it was Auburn
Yeah.
plus like
Yeah,
one
they
or
were
two.
they were the underdogs going into it, and
Everybody's an underdog going against Alabama.
yeah, especially back then. That was
Right.
like that was hot Alabama.
Yeah.
Like I was just taking the points all the way. And I think at one point I had the money line too, with Auburn to start, and then I was betting the points because I was getting points. Man, I made a killing off that game.
I
So
love betting on college football.
so if you want to talk betting this weekend, just real quick. I mean,
Did you hear? Oh, no. Go ahead.
well, maybe I should save this. We'll segue into this.
Speaking of betting,
Yeah,
what I
that's
was going to say,
NFL.
there was a guy that did this is NFL.
Well,
but
let's
we're
get into
talking,
NFL.
We're talking
Yeah.
betting
Yeah.
into college football, anyways, right?
Yeah, we're
Pretty
done.
much?
We're
Yeah.
done there. Let's get into NFL.
College football's done.
Wow, wow,
Maybe we should do another station identification. Or
Somebody's gonna have to go on a beer run.
beer runs. Ugh. Excellent.
Why do I get the feeling I'm somebody?
this is the last one I need, but
Not the last one you're gonna drink.
well, we're getting down to the red zone here, so to speak.
Oh, we didn't unison that.
Oh, my fault. We'll just have to dub in another one of our station identifications into that shit.
Where's he going?
When the mountains are blue, it's time for you to sit back, relax, and enjoy your favorite pod show, the Motherfucking Dick Show. Sponsored by no one.
All right, I made it back from the beer run. We can start talking NFL now.
NFL.
Do we need to? Because it was such a boring fucking weekend.
Yeah, this was there wasn't a lot of excitement or flash this weekend.
I can't tell if it was a defensive weekend or just bad play weekend. Like all the games were pretty low scoring. There was, look at closest game. Cleveland over San Francisco, 2 points.
All right. Well, we're there.
And then 3 points, Dallas Chargers game. 3 points, Cincy Seattle game. 4 points, Las Vegas New England. 5 points, Buffalo. You had a couple blowouts. Miami over Carolina. That was to be expected. But it's just, and no upsets. There was like 4 upsets.
I wouldn't say no upsets,
But you look at the fantasy points, like the
Cleveland game was a big upset, it was close.
So on that game, on that note, a buddy of mine here in the neighborhood, he's a big Niners fan. He and I bet on that game, and I bet on the Niners. I mean, I thought the Niners were going to win, but I took the under, he took the over at 9.5 is what we agreed on. He thought they'd win by 10 or more. When Cleveland beat them, I got a text message from Bank of America that said, Edgar has sent you $10 via Zelle for, and in quotes, fuck the Browns.
Perfect.
Oh, man, poor guy. Love him to death, though.
But you look at the fantasy points. 25 was the number 1 for Dak.
Mm-hmm.
Mostritz, 34. Amon St. Brown, 30. And then it was just nothingness. Like 19, 20 points was the weekend.
Vikings,
there was no fantasy points
Vikings
scored.
put up 21 points as a defense. That's probably the biggest standout stat there. To your point, yeah, I mean, all around this week, there just wasn't a lot of excitement, right?
Travis Swiftsy got 21 points. Swiftsy?
Yep.
Swiftsy.
Swiftsy.
How many teams stopped playing in the second half?
Arizona,
Philadelphia, San Francisco, Atlanta, Seattle, New Orleans.
Hey, don't forget my Giants.
The fact that we're now down to...
Well,
hey.
It was close enough.
Can I throw out stat time really quickly, though?
Yeah.
Just to tell you, I think the Giants are the worst team in the NFL.
Their helmets looked good.
No, but they're the worst team in the NFL this year. And let me just throw you just a couple of stats to prove my point.
All right.
Okay.
We have 1 touchdown in the first half this year, and it's not an offensive touchdown. It's a defensive touchdown. Okay? We haven't scored a touchdown in the last 3 games that was on offense. All we have are defensive touchdowns, and that's 1. We haven't scored an offensive touchdown since we played San Francisco, which was 3 games ago.
And then before that was Arizona, where they won.
Where we came back in the second half and miraculously figured that shit out.
Yeah.
And this just in, Daniel Jones just got sacked again while he's getting treatment
by his
from
wife.
Getting fucking sacked.
He got sacked by his wife.
Man, he's going to get sacked in my life. He's been sacked in my life. Fuck the Giants this year, man. This is fucking horrible.
I didn't look that stat up. How many sacks were against them this week?
You know what? They only actually, surprisingly, Tyrod.
Oh, yeah.
Our best we've
Jones
looked
didn't
on
play, right?
offense. Tyrod driving us downfield at the end of the game this last week. The best we looked all game was in a 2-minute offense. Daniel Jones didn't play.
Huck, you did. That 2-minute offense fucking didn't look like a goddamn deer in the headlights at halftime. You running the ball on the option?
Hey,
at the goal line?
Listen.
Why are you running the ball?
Listen.
Brian Dable's like, what the fuck are they doing?
No, I'm just saying, at the end of the game, the best our offense looked all game, which was horrible, was on the 2-minute drill at the end of the game. That's all I'm saying.
I know what side you're going to take on this. That should have been a fucking second pass interference penalty, too, because that jersey was held as he was jumping. His arm was pinned down. They should have had another shot at that.
I don't even care about any of that.
My point.
I'm glad you're actually more passionate about my Giants than I am right now. That's how much.
No, I'm passionate. I'm passionate about games being called the same way every time,
I hear you,
and that should have been a pass interference. But no, they looked like garbage coming to halftime. Like, I get that the play is a run pass option, but as the quarterback, you have to just know run's not it's not an option.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, this formation is an RPO setup, but you have to throw the ball.
You have to get rid of the ball. Dayball was telling him in the ear, like, what the fuck? You got to get rid of the ball. And I agree with that. I just the most perplexing thing for me, speaking on this, and we'll get done with this because we don't need to go on about this shit. Most perplexing thing is Saquon is a franchise tag running back. He's going to be gone next year. We put all that money into Daniel Jones, who was unproven and hasn't looked good this year. But part of that is we have nothing on an offensive line. We look horrible. And our two best players are our running back and our quarterback with a shit show for an offensive line.
Yeah.
It's just not going to add up, especially when our head coach is an offensive head coach.
I don't think you can say it's all Daniel Jones when he's getting sacked 11 times in one game.
No, and I agree, but I mean, it's just frustration.
Yeah.
You know? Anyways,
All
move
right.
on.
Well,
Carry on.
All right, so let me just, I made some notes here.
Let's do it.
We start off with a Thursday night game. Kansas City went up 16-0 at the end of the third. Their total yards was 389 for Kansas City. Denver had 197. Russell Wilson really lost that game. He didn't do nothing. Baltimore, Tennessee. Baltimore led 18-3 at the half. Tannehill, 8 for 16 for 76 yards in the game. And Malik Willis came in the fourth. But welcome back to Derrick Henry, who cracked the top 5 in the fantasy points. I don't have his stats, but I think he had a pretty good game. Probably his first one. Washington, Atlanta. Total yards. Washington, 193 yards. Atlanta, 402, and they lost because Desmond Ridder threw 3 interceptions. Atlanta's last three possessions, 2 interceptions and a turnover on downs. Mm-hmm. So Atlanta stopped playing. Minnesota, Chicago. Fields got injured. There goes Chicago's chances.
Man, Justin Fields, man.
Another boring game.
Yep.
Minnesota, total yards, 220. Chicago, 275. Snorefest. Seattle, Cincinnati. Seattle had 381 total yards versus Cincinnati's 214. Like, Seattle, their fourth quarter was an interception, 2 turnover on downs, and 1 punt. Again, like, are their teams just giving up? Like, it's ridiculous.
Inconsistency, especially at this point of the season, you know, looking at fourth quarter games to have that much going on with nothing going on. You know what I mean?
And I know I'm going fast here. Just pipe in if you got a comment on any of these games.
Yeah, you're good.
Cleveland beaten San Francisco by 2 points. Purdy, 12 for 27 for 125 yards.
I think the biggest story out of that is what's going on with McCaffrey and Debo, but Debo seemed to be okay.
Yeah, he came back, right?
San Francisco missed a field goal to win it with 9 seconds left in the game.
Pushed it right.
And that was also the second missed field goal on the game for them. They missed one earlier.
Yep. Yeah, so we're now down to no undefeated teams left because
that's what I was actually going to say.
both
Congratulations to the Miami Dolphins. Not this year's Miami Dolphins, right? But the
streak continues.
The streak continues.
Yeah,
you know,
and we have one winless team still left.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey man, Thielen's looking good though back in Carolina. You just went
blank.
dark.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so Houston beats New Orleans. New Orleans, their third, 3 fourth quarter possessions, missed field goal, turnover and downs, and an interception to lose the game, or tie or whatever. Stroud less than 200 yards. Derek Carr had a solid game, 353, 1 touchdown, but he had an interception.
Yep.
So I don't know what was with them. It was a 20-13 game, so it was kind of ridiculous. Jacksonville, I think they did what they needed to do this week. Jacksonville led 21-6 at the half, but their total yards were 233.
Didn't Trevor Lawrence get hurt in that game?
No.
Oh, I thought he did.
Indy had 354 yards. Jacksonville had 17 points off of turnovers.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot. ATN had a solid game, 56 yards and 2 touchdowns. But no rushing by Indianapolis in this game. Jonathan Taylor's back, But, what's happening? Indy had 1 fumble, 3 interceptions, 2 turnover on downs, and 3 punts. If you're giving up 17 points on turnovers, you're not going to win any games.
And again, this brings it back to who is Anthony Richardson. Without
And
him,
he's injured.
he's out.
done for the season now.
Yep, they're saying he's done for the year, and they were playing pretty well at the beginning. Now what are they going to do, though,
Right.
Jonathan Taylor's got to step it up, but that's going to be a tough task for him as well.
Yep. So the next game, Carolina-Miami. Carolina. Hey, Carolina. They led 14-0 to start the game and lost 42-21.
I request that Hey Carolina gets into the intro at some
Yeah.
point for sure.
Okay.
Hey Carolina.
So, I mean, you go up 14-0 on Miami and you get 7 points after that. 42 points to 7. Like, you're not going to win any fucking games. Carolina had 4 turnover on downs and 1 missed field goal. But here, newsflash, we're 6 games into the season, and Tua does not have a concussion.
Yeah, that was actually just going to say that too.
And he had a solid game. 262, 3 touchdowns. The monster, Mostert, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns on 17 carries. And Tyreek Hill had an amazing game again. 163, 1 touchdown. 163 yards on 6 receptions.
Yeah.
That's,
Some good yards.
Yeah.
I mean,
they got to have like the probably the number 1 offense.
yeah.
Guaranteed.
I mean, they got speed everywhere. If
I'm Kansas City, do I regret giving up Tyreek Hill right now?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, the
No
one
doubt.
thing that Kansas City has been able to do, though, is they make up what they lack in that speed with the fact that you have Pat Mahomes. You know what I mean? But
you throw Tyreek back into that mix, and they're even more dangerous
well, and when you really look at it,
than they currently are.
the recipe for
They won
Dolphins,
the Super Bowl without him last year, though, right?
Right.
But the recipe for the Dolphins, throwing out all that speed, that's essentially what the Chiefs started doing
Yeah,
a few
taking the
years
top
back.
off of defenses.
Just having so much speed with Tyreek and with Pacheco, and at the time, Pacheco wasn't big, but a lot of these other guys, they had speed, and they were able to get it done. And now you're seeing Miami take
Well, it
that. And
opens up
actually,
the run
Miami's
game.
turned it up a little bit even. Miami
Well,
has
it opens up the run game
track speed.
and it opens up the quarterback being able to move the ball himself because you're taking the top off. You're moving the defense way back
And
down
we
the
keep
field.
saying it, but this is all dependent on if fucking Tua does not get hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Who's their backup quarterback?
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, I don't know offhand.
Don't know. Next game, Las Vegas and New England.
Hey, New England almost tried to come back.
The only note I put here was Jimmy G pulled ?
Yeah, he seems to be out. They put him in an ambulance. He got put in an ambulance?
Did he?
Did he get injured?
I think so, yeah. I thought he got hurt.
I didn't see that one.
I don't know. Detroit over Tampa Bay. Again, no rushing. Rushing disappeared this week. Detroit 40 yards. Tampa Bay 46. I don't
Weird.
get it. Goff
Weird.
had a good day. 30 for 44,
Yeah.
353, 2 touchdowns.
So just to update, Jimmy G he got hit just before the halftime, and they said it was a back issue. However, Josh McDaniels said on Monday that he dodged a big bullet. So I think he's maybe questionable.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it.
So the next game, Philly lost to the Jets. Who saw that one?
Nobody.
Absolutely nobody.
Not even the Jets.
Here is Philadelphia's fourth
Good point.
Well, I mean, we're being honest.
fourth quarter.
Not Zach Wilson. He didn't see it.
Interception, missed field goal,
Or his mom.
interception, turnover on downs. That was their fourth quarter possessions.
Eesh.
Yeah. Rough.
Ain't
I
gonna
mean,
win many
they
games like
they
that,
stopped
Cotton.
playing.
Yeah.
You're not. Who said the Jets had a good defense?
I don't remember anybody saying that.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's the biggest upset of the week right there.
Yeah.
Well,
Buffalo and the Giants. We already talked about that. I didn't really make any notes. I thought you would.
no, like I said, man, fucking the Giants suck. Buffalo is a pretty good team, but the Giants fucking suck. There's
The
nothing-
Giants did have a nice helmet. I wasn't kidding
Yeah,
when I said
no.
that. It looked like a nice throwback, the darker, more
But
dark blue.
why was the score only 14-9 when Buffalo was a 15-point favorite?
Uh,
I missed the game, so that's why.
Buffalo also had a player taken off the field in an ambulance for a second season in a row.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So that happened. The
I think
Giants,
that kind of took some air out of that game.
Well, plus you got Brian Daboll. He came from the Buffalo coaching staff
The
before
tree,
he took the
yeah.
job. So he probably has a little bit of inside for the nuances and kind of some of that stuff. It's a New York versus New York game,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those little factors. But overall, the Giants just did enough to make sure that they stayed in it to lose. They didn't stay in it to win. They didn't try to win. They didn't have a chance to win because our fucking offense sucks balls.
Yeah.
So, and that's all I got to say about that.
And then we finished with our Cardinals.
That was a tough one.
When you
Yeah,
give up
was it, though?
20 unanswered points in the fourth quarter,
When you don't play second halves of football games, this is going to happen to you a lot, and that's what they're doing. They're playing first halves. They're not playing second halves.
so who's our quarterback?
The alopecia antelope.
Right.
Yeah.
21 for 41, 235, one interception, and one lost fumble.
Snap back to reality. Whoops, there goes gravity.
This
Whoops,
guy
there
maybe
goes
grew some
antelope.
eyebrows. Maybe we'd fucking win.
Easy.
Our fourth quarter, an interception, a fumble, a turnover on downs. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
He's the fucking anti.
Welcome back, Cooper Kupp, 148 yards.
Yep, he's back.
Kyrene Williams, 158 yards. All in the second half.
Yep. That's what I said. They don't play the second half of games. You can't win if you're not playing the second half. That's been their MO all season long.
Rams team has some potency there if they
Yeah.
can just figure it out. But Aaron Donald still too, man. That guy wreaks havoc everywhere.
And then we had Dallas beating the Chargers last night.
Yep.
That was kind of a snooze fest too, to be honest.
I mean,
wasn't,
it was
wasn't
Yeah.
an exciting
yeah, it
game.
wasn't exciting, but
I
they're
mean,
in
the
the fourth
Chargers had a
quarter at
chance.
the end, yeah.
Chance, and then they didn't.
They didn't look good on that last possession, that's for sure. When you really got to get urgent, they didn't get urgent.
I think the best thing about that game was watching that chick in the stand lose her mind.
Oh yeah, she was excited, and then all of a sudden she was.
We're watching the game, and
Oh yes,
and Dustin's like, Look at this bitch.
She is going fucking nuts. And
Barbara's
we had
like,
to
"Let me see,
rewind.
let me see,
We had
let
to
me see."
rewind for Barbara.
Yeah, that was funny. All right, well,
Yeah. So wrap up real quick. Football. We're on a time crunch here today. So I won the week with 11. Chris had 10. Kelly had 9. And for the
Nine times.
9 for the season standings, that puts me at 63-30. Kelly at 55-38, and Chris 55-38 as well. So anyway, all right.
I got next week's schedule. There's an interesting game, Detroit and Baltimore. Washington against the Giants. Just for you. Arizona, Seattle. Kansas City versus the Chargers. Oh, here's the big one. The Sunday night game. Philly and Miami.
Yeah. Yep. That'll.
I
be a
think
good
that's the game of the week.
game. That'll be a good game.
that will be a good game.
6 teams on by, so
I think I might take Miami in that one, but we've got to wrap it up. We got to go.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna get on to the next segment.
all right.
All right, and we're back, and we're gonna roll into the next segment.
It's time for America's favorite subject, brother. It is Bush of the Week.
All right, we got it right this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First try.
All right.
All right, here's my inspiration.
All right, Kelly's-
it was on the
Kelly's lining it up this
screensaver on the at home for getting Sarah Marshall. So pull up the image, the inspiration. Now, if you go to back, you go images.
Uh huh.
And the second on the left, down. No, oh, you went too far. What are you doing?
I don't know, man. What are you telling me? Second
That one,
from
no.
the left?
Yeah, no. Now go over that
This?
that one.
That's
The screensaver image that I saw. Mila
this
Kunis
is what got it in trouble. This is what got the computer in trouble.
Kristen
website.
Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Now those are that's
So-
a great.
so
pink
those are the two.
bikini. Yep, those are the two.
Those are your two.
So
Mila
if
Kunis versus Kristen Bell.
yep, so if you go to Yahoo Safe Search and you type in Mila Kunis bikini, man, that's a rabbit hole.
I bet it is.
So I got two parts with Mila Kunis, and I love. I mean, since that '70s show, Mila Kunis has been hot, right?
Yes,
I mean, she's always been hot, as far as I can remember.
that's the rabbit hole. If you go to Yahoo Safe and the
Right.
safe search is off,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at it,
Should
it's
never
all memes
taught him
of
this.
Red having sex with Mila, Jackie,
Right.
and Mrs. Foreman walks in on all of them, and it's like they pop their heads onto like porn stars,
Right.
and then
Yeah, I
have
could see it. I could see it.
you got to pull that up.
I could
But
see it.
anyways, that pink bikini on Kristen Bell.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that was actually a pretty funny movie.
That was a
That
great
was
movie.
a hilarious movie.
That was a
great
great
movie.
movie. But yeah, for sure.
Jason Segel's a perfect depressed guy.
You know, the only downside I have with Mila Kunis is the fact that she's married to Ashton Kutcher.
Well, they're both goofy guys, Dax Shepard
I know,
and Ashton Kutcher.
but I'm just not a big fan of Ashton Kutcher. I feel like Mila Kunis is the ride that has been fucking worn ragged by a few people up to the point of where Ashton Kutcher started fucking turning her out again after he did it on that 70s show set a few times, I imagine. I don't know. Kristen Bell's hot, but to me, 100% hands down, I gotta go Mila Kunis, even with the Ashton Kutcher shit. You know what I mean? I've fapped to Mila Kunis since I was in fucking high school. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. That is a very tough one.
Good topic this week, huh?
Yeah, so
and
quick-
it sucks that it's got to be quick on this one, abbreviated.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
quick, interesting story. As a point of fact, Kristen Bell, Dax Shepard, is
They
obviously
love
her
going to
husband.
Glamis, yeah.
Yeah, he's a big dooner, and I see him out there all the time when we're at the dunes. She is very rarely with him. He normally has other people with him. I don't know if it's because of the kids or she just doesn't like to get in the car. It's not her style. She may be out there, but staying in the motorhome. But
Probably not.
But we have always made it a point not to like interrupt his day. He's out here to have fun just like we are. Every time he parks at the hill though, or at like the swing set or something, people start running over to his car because they all know what it looks like. And it's got to be annoying for him, you know? But anyway.
Especially like that, dude. You just want to go out and
Yeah, you're
fucking
just there to
ride,
have fun.
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
And you stop at the normal spots everybody else stops at to hang out and have a beer maybe, or I don't know. He maybe doesn't even drink. I don't know. But point is, there's kind of destinations out there where everybody stops.
There's something about Kristen Bell to me. I don't know, man.
It's
She
good
just
pictures
doesn't-
and
she
bad
just
pictures.
doesn't do it for me.
That pink bikini doesn't do it for you?
No, I mean the pink bikini. It looks good on her, yeah, but like
You got to remember, those two were in another movie together. A couple of them. Bad Moms. They did the Bad Moms
That's
movies
right.
together.
They were in that
movie.
That's right. Yeah, no, for me, I gotta say it's Mila Kunis. Something about those fucking crazy "I'ma suck your dick" eyes.
I was going to mention that.
I mean, it's just you can't
Those-
not help.
Hey,
but see.
those eyes almost say I might light your house on fire
I mean,
too.
at the
so-
same, they're the same look, bro. They're the same fucking look.
She looks like she fell out of the I'm going to suck your dick tree and hit every branch on the way
I mean,
down.
there's several chicks you see that have that look where you're like, I bet that'd be fun, but my God,
Look out.
you're probably gonna pay for it in the end. You know what I mean? Or insurance.
She was in a movie with
insurance is gonna pay for it.
was
when she
it
burns
Just
her shit
Friends
down.
or Friends with Benefits or something with
Oh,
Justin
yeah.
Timberlake?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
That's right.
So okay, Dustin.
Yep. I was gonna say I
Oh.
got Mila Kunis. How about y'all?
I'm gonna have to take Mila Kunis on that one.
Ooh,
We got a winner.
Mila Kunis, huh?
She's the one.
Yeah.
Damn.
Congratulations.
Hey. Congratulations, Mila Kunis. You are this week's
Unanimous.
unanimous Bush of the week. Oh yeah. And that is.
So you gonna
there it is.
fap one off before you go home?
Jesus, not in my bathroom, please.
We turn this into Fap Chat. Is that what we're doing?
Jesus.
This is a Dick Show after dark.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was such a thing.
The Dick Show after dark.
So that was my inspiration.
All right.
I brought it. So
Why is that the screensaver on your computer?
no, it was on the TV.
Okay.
You know, you press pause on DirecTV and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
I
I'll
gotcha,
watch this
I gotcha.
movie now. Kind of
Cycles them
thing.
through.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, you're bringing the topic next week.
Man, good goddamn.
You got to bring some contenders.
They're all contenders.
They are all contenders. But you know what? I'm going to...
You don't tell us. Surprise us.
Okay, yeah, I'll surprise you. But I got...
I kind of don't like being surprised, but I kind of do. Like, I don't know how to feel about it.
So here, I got a
Alright.
question, though. How about this? How about... Because I just thought of this. I like the surprise one, but for this specific one that just popped into my head, I just kind of thought, like, it might be better for you guys to know to maybe research.
Okay.
The real world.
No, come on.
I never. What is that?
You never saw the real world show?
No.
There were
You might
some
as well
hot
say
chicks on
Survivor. Like how many
Yeah,
fucking
well, I never
chicks
watched
are?
Survivor either. I just thought it...
I watched the Real World one time, and it was like the fucking Seattle one, and
Right.
that was it.
I like the Dave Chappelle show where they imitate the real world.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy brings his girlfriend
Yeah,
over, and
they-
it's an all black house.
They do the family swaps. Yeah.
Oh, that one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
God dang it. So,
Chappelle's a genius.
Okay, well,
You'll have something.
I'll surprise you guys then.
Yeah.
We won't go that topic. I'll surprise you. I got something. So
Okay.
And
cool.
as you guys are going about your day, and you're like, "Oh, that chick's hot," put it in your phone. Let's get a real tournament style going.
Yeah, we need to start.
We start
putting
pulling
the names
names
in the
and-
bowls. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I actually had something to add to that, but I can't think of it right now because I'm high. So we'll talk again later, and then I will remind you guys of what I was thinking about for another topic idea. But yep, next week I got the surprise.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
We're going
All right.
to call it.
Well, this is it, huh? It's a wrap.
That's
All right,
a wrap.
fellas,
That's
let's-
a wrap.
Good to see you guys.
You
Another
too.
good week of the Dick Show.
Yep. Don't forget, like, rate, review.
Subscribe.
Make comments.
Yeah.
Fellas,
please.
we've got to fucking make these house payments. Somebody fucking interact with us, you assholes.
Yeah, please. On
Stop
something
being
other than
bitches.
politics.
Stop being
Yeah.
bitches.
Anything
No
but
thanks,
politics.
Gary.
Yeah.
Share.
Yes. And yeah. Send
Actually, I do want to put my dad and Dustin in the room talking about politics.
Let's do it.
Let's
I'd love to
not
see
let's
it.
not do that.
I'll
on
go
a-
too.
on an official show.
I'll go too. I can go both ways on that shit.
Yeah,
I
I
like,
bet
to,
you
I like to
can.
throw fire on
I
everything.
bet you can.
Yeah.
That one's
All
got to
right,
go
guys.
into an intro too. I
You
can
are
go both
right.
ways.
I like
Yeah.
to go both ways there.
All right. Well, you guys have a good week. We'll catch you next week.
All right. Peace.
Later.